In terms of installing an HID conversion kit, they all pretty much go together the same way. The method and the technology to make your connections and replace one bulb with an HID bulb is the same. The only difference between one HID kit and the other is the quality of the bulb and the ballast internal components. So in this video, we're specifically going to talk about how do you install an HID conversion kit light bulb system in a headlight that uses a dust cover. You can see this style from a Dodge Ram with projector headlights. You've got two holes in the dust cover for your low beam and your high beam, and some, like this Dodge Ram reflector headlight, have only one dust cover per bulb. It's pretty much all the same. You just follow these steps and make as many holes as you need to in your dust covers to fit your HID bulbs through. Now, if you have the type of headlight housing that just has the light bulb sticking out on the back side of the headlight and there's no dust cover in front of it or on top of it, you don't need to watch this video. You take out the old light bulb and you put the new one in. What we're specifically talking about are headlights like this, where the dust cover is in front of the light bulb, and in order to install your HID bulb, you have some of the wiring installed inside the headlight and some of the wiring coming out through this pass-through harness with the rubber grommet. So the first step is we're going to make a hole in the dust cover. Now this is the 2009 to 2016 Dodge Ram reflector single beam, but the technology is the same whether you're using this or a GMC Sierra. The first thing you want to do is drill a hole. Decide where your light bulb is going to fit behind the dust cover and drill the hole near that point. We're going to use a tool called a unibit or a step bit. On the inside here you can see the different levels of the size of hole that it will cut, and we're going to try and shoot for a 7/8 inch hole. That's almost a full inch. If you go a full inch, it'll still work, but your seal won't be quite as tight. You want as small of a hole as possible in your dust cover to make the best seal. So first, let's drill it out. Simply decide where you're going to drill the hole, put the bit in that spot, and use common sense not to hurt yourself or damage your table. If you can't do this without hurting yourself, don't do it. I'm going to get it started, and then I'm going to reposition so I have better control. I'm just going to go all the way through because I know about where 7/8 of an inch is. Made a big mess, but it's all just plastic shavings that are easy to clean up. If I position this so I can see it, I can put this through and gauge that I am at right about 7/8 of an inch. I think 3/4 of an inch is too small. 1 inch is an okay size, but maybe too big. 7/8 is really the perfect size for almost any HID conversion kit. The purpose of drilling the hole is to pass half of the wiring through the dust cover to the outside of the headlight housing. And the idea is to preserve the function of the dust cover. The dust cover keeps dust and moisture and bugs and animals outside of your headlight that they can access from the back side. Think about it, if you had this big open gap in your headlight and you're driving on a dirt road or through the rain, it's going to get a lot of debris inside the headlight. We want to keep that weatherproof seal as tight as possible. So we can't just put the bulb in and have the wiring come out like that. We want to retain the dust cover. So we're going to pass these wires through and then use this rubber grommet to seal up that hole. It's a really smart system that works really well. The only tricky part is this connector that plugs into your ballast is too big to fit through a 1 inch or 7/8 inch hole. So we're going to take that apart. There's basically two steps to take it apart. The first is along the bottom side of this connector, there's a retaining clip. It's held in place by a shoulder here and a shoulder here. Using some type of a screwdriver or a pick tool, you're going to want to release that clip from the shoulders on each side. Now that we have that off, the shoulders on either side of the bulb that hold in the retaining clip are still in the way. In order to get the pins out, you would use a really small screwdriver, like a flat jeweler's screwdriver or a pick tool. What we're going to use is a purpose-built de-pinning tool. What we're going to use is the OTC part number 4461 terminal release tool set. Inside we have different picks and screwdriver type tools of different shapes and sizes. This is the one that I like to use. It's just like a really small pick, and we've used it enough that now it has kind of a curve to it. What we're going to do is examine the top of the HID connector. You see it's shaped like a T. You see the T shape? On the bottom portion of the T, or on the inside of this opening, there's a slot where this pick tool will go in. If you put your pick tool in over here, you're going to hit the pin. We want to go on this side. And then once you go down to about the bottom of the travel as much as you can, don't push it, you just rest it in there. If you push it toward that wire or toward that pin, the pick tool will go this way and press on a release lever inside. Push it to the outside, hold everything in place, and remove the wire. What we're doing in here is releasing this spring lever, because when you put it inside, this is what grabs. Now we're going to reset it because I pushed on it pretty hard, and now that it's been pushed in, it won't grab anymore. This spring clip is what we're depressing when I go in here. Now that we have that big bulky connector off, we can easily pass this wiring through the dust cover. Get it all pulled through. And then the rubber grommet has a recessed slot all the way around. And that is going to fill in the gap in the hole we drilled. You see if I get it here, it's not fitting through. You have to carefully fold the flaps of the rubber grommet around until they kind of sandwich on the outside of this hole that we drilled, and just work it around in a circle until the whole thing pops into place. Now give it a tug to seat it, and you can see we have the lip completely covering the hole on this side and completely covering the hole on this side. Now that you have the wiring installed on the dust cover, you can put your one connector back together. Now it's important to note the orientation of the wires in the connector before you take it all apart. So examine your other HID wiring, take a picture, write some notes so you put this back together the exact same way. When you put it in, you want to hear an audible click. If you don't hear that click, or you tug on it and the wires pop out, that little spring release lever still needs some help. Take it out, pull that spring lever back out, and then put it in. We're going to put our retaining clip back on, pop it up, and now we're ready to go. At this point, you're ready to replace your original halogen bulb with the new HID bulb. Line up the 3 tabs, put the bulb in the housing. Sometimes you need some slack. When it's lined up, you can twist it and push it in place, and then you find the wire that looks like the old halogen bulb. And this is where the original headlight wiring plugged into the old halogen bulb Now we're going to plug it in to the new HID wiring. Make sure you have the wiring set up correctly. Usually the way you can tell if you've got it correctly is black to black and the other color goes to red. So you can see on this one, we have the black wire coming down and going to the black wire on the factory wiring, and the red wire coming down goes to the other wire. In this case, it's white with a blue stripe, and yours is probably going to be different unless you're doing a 09 to 16 RAM. Lastly, pull some slack, push the wiring in, and put the dust cover back on exactly how it came off. At this point, you can plug in your ballast, mount the ballast, reinstall the headlights, and turn it on. Once you're done testing it, if something doesn't work, check out your connections. Maybe that one that you disassembled didn't go back together the right way, or something was flipped around. Do some continuity testing, some basic electrical diagnosis and common sense, and you should have HIDs installed in your headlight with a dust cover before you know it. Please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our other LED and HID review videos as they come out, and you can find this product and many more at our website, www.headlightrevolution.com.